What's up, guys? B Green Flex here, voice of Flex, back again with another video. Today we have a special guest in the house.
Alan, what's up, man? Alan and you.
Good friend of mine, known this man for a very long time. Recently, like a brother to me. So he wanted to come chop it up tonight, just come chill for a little bit. And I was like, hey man, well, you want to do a reaction video? And he was down. So here we are. It's another Fresh and Fit clip because I'm trying to be conscious of his time. And so it's a little bit shorter one, but it's probably good anyway because, you know, the last few videos have been extremely long. But yeah, so he's kind of on our general side as far as some of the opinions that we have over here. But we're just going to see what he thinks about some of this stuff and get some good banter going. So without further ado, real quick, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content or if you just found it entertaining. And also make sure to comment down below if you agree, disagree, and if so, what your thoughts are on it. So, would their dream man reject them if he knew their body count?
If the man of your dreams knew your sexual history, what would he think? Start with you.
They might cap though.
Yeah, they are gonna cap.
That's not going.
That's
They
facts.
probably gonna cap.
Well, she
What
said
would
5 to 7, right? Or
Yeah,
5 to 6.
what would he? Yeah,
What
what
do
would
you
he think?
Yeah.
That's okay. I was in like long relationships, and then I got out of the long relationship.
You never cheated.
Never cheated.
Stop the cap.
I've never.
Yeah.
All right. What about you? What would he think?
I'm white.
No, I never cheated.
Oh wait, is the question what would he think or what would I feel about what he thinks?
What
No,
do you think?
what
What
would
would
he
he?
think?
What would he think about your entire sexual history?
Now, mind you, I know that she's a stripper. Just because
The
I
first
watched, no, this
The second one,
the
yeah.
girl talking now, which, look, check at the eyes. But I watched, like, a good bit of this actual episode.
Mhm.
So, like, I know, like, she's a stripper and, like, whatever. So, of course, she's probably going to feel a certain type of way about it.
Fucking, I mean, and it goes without saying, dude. It's just that like girls lie down and guys lie up.
Exactly. And that's like, I remember there was one time where they were talking about studies as far as like, because there's a lot of studies that show when girls are more promiscuous, their marriages tend to fail. Like they usually are more inclined to have a unsuccessful marriage and leave their man. And it's usually like 5 or 6, I think, is the number. And they're like, oh, well, if girls lie about their body count, then how can you use that? How can you use that stat? And it's like, okay, but they lie down. So that means if anything, they're
padding
like,
the stats
yeah.
heavy.
So it's like you can't really use that argument. But anyway, so, and also girls usually when they, like, she's probably gonna be defensive because she is a stripper and strippers are generally looked at as promiscuous. So it's like, because it applies to her personally, she's gonna be a girl about it and like be defensive. But I don't know.
I think he would probably think that it's not that bad.
Okay, so what's that bad?
Why are you laughing
20
like
bodies?
that?
It's kinda
Yeah,
cute.
I'm around like 20 something.
Around?
20 is crazy.
No.
And she's young too. I think she's only like
I'm
20 under
Early
25.
20s?
Yeah, 20 under 25.
look at.
I'm not saying.
No, I was gonna say, okay, so now that I'm like, I don't know, I grew up a little bit in life. I'm not gonna lie, for the past year, I haven't really like mingled like that. I don't know. I'm very prudent now. I hold myself to a
Yeah, because you already
When's the last time
fucking
you had
Did it all.
Yeah.
You know, she said I grew up a little bit, right? Well,
She's only
too
like
late.
21 or something.
Too late.
But what if it's with one person? And then what?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
One person yesterday.
And what's crazy is one, he just did it again with the eyes. She said, I've kind of chilled and like, you know, it's not that bad as 20 something, which mind you, she's in her early 20s, I'm assuming. So it's like, that's already bad. But he said, when's the last time he had sex? And she like immediately just kind of laughed it off. And so it's like,
deflected the
yeah,
situation.
it's like,
and
so,
all that.
yeah,
Like,
you really, and what did I say? She like, she's trying to downplay it, but it's like, cause she knows that deep down, that's not good.
no, because exactly that. There's a difference in like aging off of experience and like physical age, and like that's
Right.
exactly that. She's aged off of experiences and things that she has gone
Right.
through. That she's like, oh wow, I am rationalizing everything that she's done.
Right.
Up
She
until
had
this
to.
point.
She went through it, and it was such a. Because if she is hypothetically, she's 21, right? Because I think she's somewhere around there, if I remember the episode correctly. But you know, if you had that many bodies by then, which mind you, for a girl is a lot, it's like you rapid fired life. You know what I'm saying? Like Whereas some girls don't even like. She looks like she's in her 30s or something, or at least late 20s. She's probably in her 30s, and she claims she has 5 to 7. So say times 3.
That's like high school, yeah, unfortunately, but like, that's like high school numbers, yeah.
Right. So it's like if she really does say she has 7 or 10, even 15, it's like in her 30s, like, and you're right beside her 10 years younger, and you've had almost triple. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Life and opportunities. If one's a stripper and one's a fucking social worker, like
exactly. And I was just about to say, it goes to show that because a lot of girls that are strippers or do OnlyFans and stuff, a lot of times it's like, oh, well, not everyone that's on there or strips is like, you know, out there being a hoe and stuff. And it's like, but we get that stigma, and it's like, well, because you're associated with it, and you kind of just prove that because if you're 21 with 21 bodies. Like, and you're a stripper.
I think it goes with opportunity too. Is in like you know, everybody says like they don't have a price or they can't be bought or something like that. But it is just that whole salesman tactic
Everyone
of
has
like
a price.
Everybody's got a price.
And I think
you start talking crazy numbers or you whip out some cash. That's that. And I'm not
They
saying
gonna
they've
fold.
never had that opportunity or not, but more than likely she hasn't had that opportunity of where maybe a guy said something, but just that like she's in the strip club, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I'll give you 5 racks to fuck. No, you're kidding. He fucking folds a blue face.
Especially in Miami, bro. You gotta think like.
And so it's like she's never had that, so it's easy to say no. But if a guy's never thrown you your fucking year's salary or like a month's salary to fuck you and just be like you're like, oh
just
my
trick
god,
you
this
off,
is a
like,
one night thing. Like why?
And I think there was another. I don't know if it was from the pilot that I watched or if it was like another clip, but she had talked about like, oh, every girl in Miami has a price and stuff, and it's like that's not good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's true, bro.
it is true, but it's
and
like
I wouldn't even say in Miami, bro. Really, genuinely,
and girls
I feel
in
like
general.
every girl
But
has a
like
price. Like
the fact that you think that way just shows how open and receptive you are to it. Whereas like there are some girls that be like, no, like I'm not just gonna fuck you for 5K. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's also behind closed doors. Is because,
no, for
like,
sure.
They say
for
that.
Sure.
They say, oh,
they
I
want
would
to
never
be
fuck you for
politically
5K.
correct.
But if nobody would be none the wiser, you could be in and out, and you were the only person to know. Just
If
like
they
a
never
clean
knew,
murder,
yeah, of course.
dude, you would do it for fucking $2,500.
Right, but at least they're trying to be discreet. She's publicly saying, "Oh, everyone has a price." And it's like because you're a stripper, so you already had a price. You sold your soul already. Yeah. Anyway.
We got caught threesomes here.
All right. Well, I'm
the
not gonna
threesomes.
keep this conversation because I'm gonna put my government information.
Let's move on.
She is
Alright,
cute.
What
though.
about you?
Nothing.
I like the braids, bro.
Yeah,
I
nah,
really
I
like
get
the
it.
braids.
He wouldn't care.
No.
You don't think you would care?
No.
Random tattoo shops, random bars, random locations. Okay.
Random Ferraris.
Random Ferraris.
Easy to get into.
Okay,
And Rolls Royces.
lovely.
She walks up to men and she fucks them. So imagine she's going out to a trip, not Ferrari, and she fucks them. Trust me,
Too much
white
talking.
girls like you. White girls like you.
I like that fucking.
Hey man, she's living life, brother.
Yo,
What can we say?
Fresh is gonna talk to her after the show, man.
You what? They got black. She don't like black.
You like black guys?
No, she don't.
Yeah, she does.
oh, yes, she does, man.
You said, of course you
Man,
don't.
I got you, bro.
She can't handle me, bro.
Yeah, hey, oh, now she can't.
Can't handle me, bro.
Get him fresh.
Guess we'll find out.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. He has a Lambo too. There you go. Not a Ferrari, but it's a little bit harder to get.
And a G-Wagon.
And a G-Wagon.
Wow.
Okay.
Sound like a sub
Plenty
band.
of space in the back too.
Okay,
Yeah.
we gonna move on.
All right.
And he lives. Never mind.
Stop, nigga. Yeah, my whole ass can fit in there. Plenty of room.
Yeah, you can't. Your fat ass can fit here for real. I'm
All right.
amazed.
I don't think you would care.
She's a stripper
What?
too.
I don't think you would care. Why is that cat?
When's the last time you had?
Yesterday,
No, actually.
This week.
2 days ago.
Probably a week ago.
Stop the cap.
No,
This chick's out here being Bobby Shmurda. Bobby, get out of here, bro.
last week.
Like, you're a bad liar,
Yeah,
bro.
you're a terrible liar.
Hold on,
That's a terrible liar.
Was it with your friend?
She said
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
That's cool then.
Right hand up. Last week.
Oh,
Your other
man.
friend.
No,
I'm not
my
friend.
no,
No,
no, no, no,
Okay.
Mhm.
It's one of her
My
tricks,
friend.
man.
Mhm.
Somebody always
That's why
has
she
that
didn't want to say
accent.
she said she was single before. All right.
What about you?
That I'm a freak. He'll say I'm a freak, but I'm very open-minded, so it's a big a good thing.
Open-minded means I'm easy, and I've been around.
Anything, it doesn't really matter. Like that's the $1,000 one. That'll be like, man, she don't let you hit for 5, but you got a rack, she'll let you.
Exactly.
She got you for the night.
And I think it's funny too, cause like a lot of times girls will be on here, or just in general, like with this new wave of feminism and everything. It's like girls are like, oh well, you know, girls should get careers and go to school and get experience and shit. And it's like, all we all know what that means. You say experience, that just means dick. Like you're not really like, you know. And they were joking with her, but it's because at one point they had like brought her IG up because she like left her man. She was like married for 7 years or something in New Jersey or some shit. Just moved to Miami, left him, and she's like 30 years old. And they're like, why or no, in New York. And he was like making good money up there and shit. And like you left him to come live in Miami and be a thought, like. And she's like, I was like, but her IG is all like, you know, pictures. Yeah, and it's like, and they're like, oh, so you've been in Lambos and Ferraris and shit. And she's like, yeah. And they're like, we know girls don't pay for that. So, you know what I'm saying? And it's like. But women tend to have this ideology that what they find attractive in men is what men find attractive in women, because feminism has taught women that men and women are equal.
Yeah.
So they like seeing a guy that's out there traveling, money, cars, trips, good job, you know what I'm saying? Like all these kinds of things, and like status and stuff. They like seeing that in a man. So their philosophy is that, oh, this is what men want to see in me. But it's like, no, we're opposite. We want no social media or very limited, and we don't want you to be out there. We don't want to see you in different cars and trips and shit, because especially if you're on a private plane on your Instagram.
But you're right. But from the outside looking in perspective, is so we say that now, right? And that's just us knowing. So then, say she didn't have all that shit, and say she didn't do all these other things, and she was still in the same situation, wouldn't we necessarily still think the same thing, regardless of, like, what situation she was in? So, like, exactly what you were saying is in, like, you would think that's what they would want from them.
Right.
So, like, even if she wasn't doing those things, and it's like, nah, she's looking at us in, like, as black and white as it is she doesn't have to work or take care. She doesn't have to worry about anything. All she has to do is worry about being faithful to this person.
Right.
Right? So, you know, when you line it up in that sense of, like, even if she was doing that, we would see her, like, out doing her thing, and we would just automatically assume.
Even if everything from the public eye looked like she was a good girl, if we happened to get some type of tip that we would still think. But that's the thing, though, is that she probably wouldn't be, though. Like,
it's just not until you get to know her type shit is what more or less I'm getting into, which is kind of like shitty, because just that, like, in that situation, I mean, but you do, you can't, but you do every single time, dude. Like you
got to, because it's just like, because girls tend to think in delusion where not every person's like this, not every man's like this, not every girl's like this, and they make these arguments like that chick from whatever that was like, I'm like, if 99.9% of people have two legs, you can't make an argument for the 0.01% that have one or three. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they will make arguments for those people, and it's like, because of that, they get like this skewed perception of reality. And it's like, but here's the thing, though. They're like, oh, you got to get to know, you have to whatever. Every situation is different, but yet you reject all the guys that come up to you. You only accept one of every however, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you judge them. You judge the book by a cover on them. What if it was a dude that actually could have been a good guy? What if he actually had money? What if he had all these things that you thought, but just because of something, maybe as a stutter, or just because of how that first interaction went, you rejected him. And like, so it's a false dichotomy, I think is a term, but really it's a fallacy, not a false dichotomy. But it's like, you sit here and argue for one thing, but you don't apply that same logic to everything else that you're talking about or arguing for.
Yeah. And I think that goes without saying, is just like, I know that's how the saying goes, is this way, and I've never heard it the other way, but it is just that, is in like girl or guys say it, is in like, you know, what a girl won't do for you, you know, some other woman will.
All right.
Is in like, truly, or like there's a lot more better women out there than guys. So, like, just in that,
You could argue that, because guys tend to fall on both extremes more.
Well,
women tend to fit more in one mold, whereas guys tend to be, like, more losers.
Yeah, but if you're talking fresh and salt water, you wouldn't expect to catch a saltwater fish in a freshwater pond. So, like, if you're fucking going downtown and you're looking for a sleaze, or you're looking for a yada, 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 it's like, that's not what's going to, you know, that girl is not going to come out of that. But it is just that, like, if you do run into somebody who is, like, you know, coming out of that or doing these other things, that they are going to be more like, I don't want to say susceptible, but just that of realizing that, like, you know, I can go through 5 shitty guys before one of them is going to be
He's
all right.
good,
But,
right.
like, more than likely, like, he may have one shitty girl, but that second one is probably going to be, like, right up his alley or, like...
Right. But I will also say the definition of a girl saying a guy is a shitty guy or a toxic guy usually is not them actually being bad. It's usually because they wouldn't let them do single behaviors while being in a relationship. And so that's where I think men are very much more aware and accountable of, like, okay, this is what I did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I know what I need to fix and, you know, to move forward and have a better self-worth in a relationship next time, whatever. Whereas women, accountability is just not in the vocabulary. It's like, oh, well, he wanted me to do this. Well, it's like, well, yeah, because you were going to the club every weekend with your tits out and mad that he didn't want you to do that. Like, you're sitting here, like, shaking ass on everybody, but you're mad. Like, no, like, of course he doesn't want you to do that. Or like, you sit here and go hang out with other dudes and shit. Like,
Right, because at a certain point, it becomes just that. Like, they say, like, oh, you don't trust me, oh, you don't do those other things. That it's just, no, it's not that I don't trust you. It's in, like, you are setting yourself up and putting yourself in an
I trust a girl to be a
environment.
girl.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying I don't trust you and I don't trust the other person. I trust that everybody is capable of
Right.
cheating in the right situations and wrong ones. So
Right.
just that, like, no, you don't go down there with those intentions, yada, yada, yada. But you do have an extra drink. That fucking thing does do a little bit more than the next. And then some guy does tickle your fancy more than the next.
Yep.
And it is just that horrible pandemic of, like, where it is like a 30, 45 minute thing to where, like, okay, instead of you going home at 2, you're leaving at 1, you're doing your thing with him, and then you're going back to
Yep.
your boyfriend and
Yep.
fucking, and nothing, and nobody's none the wiser because, like, hey, I just shut the club down,
Yep.
but, and dude, it's horrible.
Well, and
It's
it's and when girls are much more driven on their emotions. So it's like, if you're gonna sit there and, you know, have this, if you're gonna be driven by something that can change very sporadically, especially if you had alcohol in the mix, drugs, music, you know, like that type of environment, you're gonna be much more susceptible to doing things that are not necessarily fit for a good relationship or future. Like, you're gonna be more vulnerable, especially in those type of environments. There are dudes that are like, oh, he's hot, oh, he has money, oh, whatever, and it's like, boom, that dude whips out that
Yeah.
5K real quick, and then, like, or he pulls up in a freaking nice car that you like or something, and then, like, now, instead of, like you said, instead of leaving at 2 and going straight home to your boyfriend or whatever, or even just not even going out, you're now leaving with him.
doing their
and
thing, or they compare each other too much about, like, again, I mean, I know people, and I've heard it before. You are like the closest 5 people
Yep.
that you talk to. That is who you are. So again, it's in, like, they relate themselves and they can control themselves off of that. It's in, like, oh, well, this person is fucking, they hook up with somebody and they have a boyfriend and they do all this, I did it one time. I'm not a bad person. Absolutely not. Like, that's just you comparing yourself to them. Is in, like, I
Right.
just didn't do it as
your
much
bar
as
is
they
set
did.
too low. Yeah.
I didn't do it as much as they did. Is in, like, now you don't have your own morals. You're just as like, oh, as long as I don't reach 10, you know,
Right.
5 and 7 is okay. But, you know, she did 10. I'm only at 7. I'm
When
not as bad
really
as her.
any of it was bad. Like, it was all
It was
bad.
bad from the end. And before you even not necessarily became friends, or you were just more open to the idea, or, like, you know, had less control on your morals. But just that of, like, before you were just like, oh, I would never, to whereas now you're just like I was just saying, you're comparing yourself to them as to where, oh, well, I'm not as bad as them.
Right.
I'm like,
You can't set the standard that low and then apply that as the standard. No, the standard is
Because it is
zero.
what it
and
is.
like,
Because nobody knows her like you know her.
Right.
So,
and one more thing I'll say before. Wait, what the fuck was I about to say? I don't remember. Either way, we kind of went on this little rant
tangent.
for a minute, but it's okay. It's good because now I have someone else's perspective that we can kind of bounce off of each other. Where usually I'm sitting here talking to a camera. So.
Okay. So Myron, you got your
Oh yeah, she had hit on him like at the beginning of the
Don't
show.
worry about me, man.
yo.
Yeah,
you
mine
gotta be
was
like
crazy.
Diddy, freak off.
You worry about her, nigga. Get a Ferrari. All right. That's what you need. You said what? Freak off?
Yeah, freak off. Yeah, like Diddy.
What do you mean freak off?
She's a freak.
Oh, freak off.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said freak off. I was gonna say, wait, what?
That's
Okay.
COVID, nigga.
Okay, hey man, you be mumbling your words together, man.
No, I didn't. I was pretty clear.
It was like, frick off. I was
It's
like,
funny
what?
that you say like FBI.
All right, what about you?
Like,
I don't think it was
and
much.
I always
There's really
thought it
not
was
much
just like a
happening
weird
there.
thing that I wholeheartedly think that has everything to do with the FBI, or maybe I'm thinking too much into it. This man literally is, because I know all this shit gets said. He's always writing shit down. He's always taking notes because he does, and I love him for that. We'll be like 30 minutes in a video, and he'll be like, no. Remember you said.
Nah, he says that though. Like, actually, I was watching one earlier where Sneako's on there and they were talking about body counts, and like he's like knew the exact number, and Sneako's like, what? He's like, how do you know the exact one? Like, and all this stuff, and then like. He's like, well, bro, like, I was a freaking FBI agent, like, Homeland
just
Security,
listen,
like, that's
dude.
just how I am. Like, I operate in a way where I need to document everything. Like, I need to make sure everything is accounted for and stuff. And, like, him being that way helps, but it also helps on the show because he's able to now recall what exactly was stated or what the point of the argument was or
To
what
the
their
exact number.
right.
Versus we're like, oh, I didn't say that. Oh, we have it on video. Rewind it back. No, I literally wrote it down
Right.
when you said 34.
we asked you this
like,
and you said this, and like, or like he'll bring it back and be like, oh, well, just stop moving the goalposts. The whole point of this debate was like, we said this and then you reacted by saying this, and now you're talking about something like, so it's good. It's a good practice in general because obviously that's, I'm sure, is what's gotten him so far in life, but also for the show it's good because he's able to be like, nope, you said this, like
use your words against you.
keep everyone accountable. But they dodge accountability.
I kind of believe it right there, bro. Yo, if you have computer science, bro.
And he also keeps stats of
bro.
chicks.
In a good way.
Not in like a bad way, just to kind of like, a lot of people will say, oh, it's only OnlyFans girls, only this. It's like, they've had like 3,000 girls on there now, a lot of OnlyFans, but also a lot of girls with PhDs, bachelors, like pretty much every other girl has a bachelor's degree, like different professions, different whatever, like, and they all think the same
The
way.
same thing.
Like,
Because, yes, and no, it is harder or fewer in between, but it's just the same thing of like, it is just that. Like, do you think like a pretty girl with a PhD and all this thing is going to get on a fucking podcast and da-da-da, or do you think an OnlyFans girl who has no problem fucking like showing her
Right.
face and doing shit on
because they do it for the
like,
clout. But even when regular girls come on here, which is, it's technically mostly regular girls, but like at the end of the day, they're still girls. Like, they're
Yeah.
still going to think the
It's
same
a
way. It's
mindset.
just the OnlyFans girls more promiscuous and vocal.
Yeah. they be the ones with the content.
Right, exactly.
And she watches XQC. Watching her can talk about obtuse.
Chris, I know you're not talking to him.
No, exactly.
Stuttering streamers? Nigga.
Oh, Fresh, you a host, nigga.
Well, actually, I got better. Did you get better?
Nah, you
No.
you got better, Fresh?
Way better, bro. That was bad.
Hey,
Fresh.
Okay, Fresh,
What
don't
about
fuck up
you?
now.
This is great.
Good job, Chris.
All right. What about you?
I mean, I don't know. He gonna be mad. He would be a little mad, but.
How would you be mad?
Oh, that means
Shit
she's
high.
like,
Yeah, she was high.
Crazy.
You think Myron would be mad?
Why are you talking about me, bro?
No, I'm just saying general.
sips tea.
Because you
You're part of the show too.
you
nigga.
Mm.
get very good ideas.
You're part of the show.
I
too.
can't decide if
No,
she's
he would be
attractive or not.
Oh, shit.
I'll be tight. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
God damn. All right. What about you, Miss
Can't
PT?
Like, she sounds like Michael Jackson.
What about you, Miss PT?
I think it depends on the guy. But
See,
I mean,
see, like, depends on the guy. It's like, it's very simple logic. We're speaking in generalities. In general, do you think that men, you know what I'm saying? It's like, obviously, there would be a case-by-case scenario in any situation, in any part of life.
Right.
But you can also make an assessment, more than likely.
Off of a general
right.
copy. Because exactly what you're saying. Yes, there are plenty of porn stars and other people out there that had boyfriends, happy lives, and kids.
Right, that don't care.
That
But
had
that's
no
a
problem.
very small minority.
We're talking about the GP, the general population of fucking people.
Exactly.
The most common.
What, like, if you were to set a standard, what standard could you use to set against?
I wouldn't even go that far. You fucking just walk up to a dude without any context at all. Yo, would you date a 10 if she had 50 bodies? Nah, probably not, bro.
And that's what a lot of
Obviously,
times they'll
probably
say.
not.
If I lined up 100 men and said, boom, 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 95 would say,
It's a very
you know what I'm
generic
saying, like,
question, and they're just trying to beat it around, and like they try to, you know, scholar it up a little bit. Oh well, you know this. And
Right.
that.
And the thing about it is too is that a lot of times they don't realize usually when they make cases for certain arguments, it's for the men that they wouldn't even want. Because if a man is okay with that, he's probably a cuck or a
that they're
femboy or
settling
something.
for, unfortunately.
Right. Like he's not your main pick. And the other thing, a lot of times too, when they make an argument for like, oh, well, how come the dude can cheat but the girl can't, and this is that, and it's like, if you have a guy that you love and respect, do you even want to go out and fuck other dudes? They're like, no. So why the fuck are you even arguing to like? You're doing it because you're feeling emotional that I'm saying guys can cheat and you can't.
Right.
It's so annoying, bro.
He'll probably be a little disappointed. I think 7 is a lot.
Oh, 7's not that bad.
21-year-old.
Wait, I thought you said 2.
But it's still.
No.
She said 7 right away.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta think the
The other
realistic.
21, right?
You gotta think the realistic age for like hooking up. I don't know when yours was, but I would think it'd be like 13. So in that hindsight, if she's saying 21 or
It's not that bad.
7
It's
and 8
really not.
years is.
Especially because most girls at 21 have like 20 something. Like for example, the opposite side of the table.
Because it does. They go into that horrible, which a lot of people do. They find this boyfriend that they're like, oh, 14 to 17, and like, oh, da 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 da, and then it's like, nope. Right when you become a quote unquote adult,
Right.
you're like,
Or they go to college and get indoctrinated by. They're like, man, 20 guys in a semester, let's do it.
let's run it up. Nobody's gonna know but me.
Right. Well, not anymore, because we got it. Anyway, so hope you guys enjoyed that one. We kind of went on a couple tangents there, but I think it's good to have the discourse, even though this wasn't really discourse. We pretty much agreed on most things, but
Yeah.
just to have the back and forth, bouncing off of ideas and thoughts, especially for me, because a lot of times when I make these videos for you guys, it's okay, or it's cool because I am able to articulate and kind of just like be succinct and focus on you guys, but also it's nice to be able to have another person like speak into it and kind of give their perspective, even if it is more than like, even if he does kind of agree in most cases, it's like still just a different perspective. And as the channel grows, I do want to have more people on that agree, and really I want to have people on that don't agree, because I think the biggest thing, and we were actually just talking about this before we started the video, the biggest thing about speaking truth, and I know my truth, your truth, whatever, the biggest thing about speaking truth in general is that you have to be able to substantiate it, and I think I could do a good job of that. And so I want to have, you know, debates and stuff like that, and I think we could be pretty successful in that field, you know. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. But anyway, like usual, if you guys if you guys enjoyed the video, took anything away from it, thought it was entertaining, whatever, make sure to like and subscribe. If you agree with us, comment down below why. If you don't agree, comment down below why. No hate either way. And thank you, Alan, for coming out.
I appreciate you having me on this time, man.
And you know, I'm sure you guys will see him again, you know, in the near future. Maybe some IRL videos too.
There we go.
And
some vlog action. That's crazy, dude.
So, and yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.